Good afternoon. This is a nutritional assessment of Jane. Jane is overall a healthy 14-year-old who lives at home with her father, age 45, her mother, age 41, her sister, age 8, and her brother, age 4. The family history shows on her mother's side obesity and hyperlipidemia, and on her father's side obesity and type 2 diabetes. Jane's diet is causing her weight problems. The doctor's report shows that she does not have any other chronic issues. The doctor's report also shows that Jane has gained 10 to 15 pounds each year for 6 years. This has led to her being significantly overweight. This is causing the family to have concerns about how to manage her weight. Even though Jane is healthy, there are some concerns from her lab work. One problem which is reported in her lab work is a slightly high fasting blood glucose level at 116 milligrams per deciliter. Along with her weight, this could indicate that she is at risk to become diabetic. Her father is obese and has type 2 diabetes. This also indicates a risk for Jane to develop type 2 diabetes later in life. The family history shows Jane's mother has hyperlipidemia, and Jane's lipid profile together indicate that she is at risk of cardiovascular problems later in life. Her HDL is low at 36 milligrams per deciliter, and her LDL is high at 113 milligrams per deciliter. Cholesterol problems are often genetic, so Jane having similar issues to her mother is not unexpected. The last issue concerns the family's financial situation, where they often run out of money at the end of the month. They use fast food often to save time and money. The heavy reliance on fast food, as we'll see in the assessment of her diet, is responsible for much of the problems in Jane's diet. Two large contributors to eating unhealthy are lack of funds and lack of time. These both need to be considered in the recommendations. Looking at Jane's height and weight, she weighs 152 pounds and is 62 inches tall. That puts her BMI at 28, as you can see on the chart. This is in the 96th percentile and puts her in the obese range. For Jane to reach a healthy BMI, she should weigh below 126 pounds. One of the goals of the diet and exercise program for Jane is to lose these 27 pounds over time and reach a healthy weight. I calculated Jane's nutritional needs using the FDA or the USDA RDI calculator. I used a sedentary lifestyle. The report did not really talk much about her activity level, and this would be important to know. Increasing her level of activity is a goal to help her maintain a good weight. I did an assessment of her current diet using the chronometer and a 3-day food diary. This assessment shows the reasons for Jane's problems with obesity, elevated blood glucose, and poor lipid profile. Even taking into account the genetic risk factors Jane has, her very poor diet is most likely causing all of her problems. Each day her diet is excessive in calories by 886, 1,035, and 525 calories per day. This excessive consumption of calories is creating an energy surplus and is why Jane is gaining 10 to 15 pounds per year. For this, I used the lightly active model. Understanding Jane's physical activity level is important. If she had a sedentary lifestyle, this excessive calories would be even worse. Jane's diet is also excessive in carbohydrates, mostly from processed food. At 322 grams, 356 grams, and 286 grams each day, her range should be between 213 and 307 grams, with at least half of those from whole grains. This high load of processed carbohydrates with very little whole grains contributes to her obesity and fasting blood glucose problems. If she maintains a diet which includes this level of processed carbohydrates, she is increasing her risk of type 2 diabetes later in life Since Jane is already showing elevated fasting blood glucose at her age, she should have a diet lower in carbohydrates and monitor her fasting blood glucose regularly with her doctor. As we are seeing more and more type 2 diabetes occurring earlier and earlier in life, it is critical that Jane address her reliance on processed carbohydrates in her normal diet. The fats Jane consumes also are a problem. She is high in all the fats we want her to be low in. Total fat, she is 126 grams, 107 grams, and 103 grams each day. We would like to see that below 76 grams. She's also high in saturated fats at 38 grams, 32 grams, and 35 grams each day. We'd like to see that below 20 grams. And she's also high in trans fats at 1.9 grams, one day as high as 4.6 grams, and another day at 2.1 grams. We want to see that as close to zero as possible. This needs to be corrected to improve her lipid profile and reduce her risk of cardiovascular problems later in life. With her family history of hyperlipidemia, Jane should watch her fats and monitor her lipid profiles regularly with her doctor. Jane's diet's also not providing the proper micronutrients. She is regularly low in some key vitamins: vitamin D, vitamin K, and vitamin E. She's also regularly low in calcium. For the recommendations, I believe that most, if not all, of the health problems Jane has are connected to her diet. It could be corrected with a proper diet. I would recommend Jane and her family see nutrition professionals to help them understand what a proper diet is and how to implement one. I would recommend Jane and her family receive education from the SNAP-ED program in her state. With the education and knowledge, the family can understand how to make better choices. I would show the family how to create a meal plan and how to use the tools like Chronometer to easily check that the diet is balanced. Jane's level of activity is not addressed in the report. This should be part of the education of the family. Improving the diet is top priority, but also finding ways to increase physical activities is important. The goal is for sustained improvements in physical activity, so finding physical activities Jane enjoys will make maintaining them easy. Since they run out of money for food at the end of the month, I would also recommend that Jane's family apply for SNAP to supplement their food budget. The nutrition professional can also help guide the family in healthy food choices that are low in cost and fit the monthly budget. Jane's diet needs to change in 4 main areas. She needs to reduce the total amount of calories consumed. She reduce the total amount of carbohydrates and increase the percentage of whole grain carbohydrate. She should correct the fat consumption, reduce the total fat, reduce saturated fat, reduce trans fat, and do this while maintaining the right balance of mono and polyunsaturated fats and balance the omega-3 and omega-6 fats. She should also ensure she gets the correct micronutrients, and in the diet I've included a multivitamin. With proper education and tools, the family can learn to create healthy meals and stay within their monthly budget. This reliance on fast food is a large contributor to the poor diet. I would recommend the family start cooking and eating meals at home. The second largest barrier to healthy eating on a budget is time. When planning their meals, choose time-friendly recipes. Easy to prepare meals after a long day will help avoid the time-saving fast food choice. I've developed a 3-day meal plan. This is a plan Jane and her family can use as a guide. The plan has a small energy deficit, which over time will improve Jane's weight. I would counsel Jane and her family to not attempt to do a very aggressive weight reduction diet. The data on these diets shows that severe calorie restriction will reduce the body's resting metabolism rate, which will erase any short-term gains. Explain that healthy eating is a lifestyle, not a diet, and should be part of the family's long-term health strategy. The current 3-day meal plan has an energy deficit of 1,476 calories per week based on the light active model. If Jane could increase her activity to moderately active, that deficit rises to 2,491 calories per week. Jane will also need to be educated on nutrition so she makes the right choices at school, where she often eats her lunch. The plan is lower in carbohydrates, and this will help her avoid problems with insulin resistance and possible type 2 diabetes in her future. The plan has a good balance of fats, which will help her lipid profile. I would encourage Jane to follow up with her doctor to continue to monitor her fasting blood glucose levels and lipid levels. Also, the plan has a multivitamin to ensure she gets all of her micronutrients. Here's the day one plan. Start off with eggs and coffee, which is something she currently eats, so it wouldn't be very different. It's also a quick and easy meal. Lunch is a sandwich, which is again similar to something she currently eats, but it's a healthier choice. Along with it, I'm adding a tossed salad with balsamic vinegar and olive oil. This will help for her fat profile. And I'm replacing all the sodas with sparkling water. The dinner is also a simple to make, easy meal. It's something the family can make quickly. It's includes in it is more whole grains and vegetables. Again, I've replaced the soda with sparkling water. In the meal plan, I've also included snacks because she currently enjoys snacks, so I added them, but they're healthy choices. I'm also including a multivitamin to ensure she gets her micronutrients. On day 2, I used turkey sausage and eggs for breakfast. This is similar to the Jimmy Dean sausage sandwich she currently eats, but this is a much better choice, better for fats, carbohydrates, and calories. Also in the lunch, I'm having a grilled chicken salad. This is easy to make. It's similar to what she's eating, except it's grilled chicken as opposed to the breaded chicken patty she's used to. A simple and healthy dinner is grilled salmon with Swiss chard. If they don't have a grill, the salmon can easily be baked. It takes no longer than 15 minutes. Also, I'm adding corn, olive oil, and strawberries, and again, the soda is replaced with sparkling water. I've included the snacks, an orange, low-fat milk, and a half a bag of light popcorn. Day 3, the breakfast is something you can easily make. I've added sugar here into the yogurt. Americans are used to very, very sweet yogurt, so I think going with no sugar would be difficult. I would encourage her to reduce that over time. The grilled chicken sandwich is a much better choice than her typical chicken patty sandwich. I also included pizza, which she typically enjoys in her normal meals. But with it, I've included vegetables, a small zucchini, sauteed in butter, and a banana. Again, I'm reducing her sugar by adding sparkling water instead of soda. I've added some dark chocolate for her to try, and an apple. So in conclusion, Jane is part of the 18% of our children who are now obese. Jane's diet is probably a very typical American diet. It is very reliant on fast foods, which is loaded with excess calories, processed carbohydrates, and saturated and trans fats. If she can make a change to a healthy diet, she can have a healthy life and avoid all the issues her parents have, such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular problems. Thank you.